Hey everyone, happy 4th of July. Well, I am being a good girl and celebrating 4th of July at home. So I thought I would make my next video for y'all. So the next step was getting imaging done. So when you find a mass, you need at least a mammogram and an ultrasound. So everybody pretty much knows about a mammogram. I have never had one. That was my first experience, and let me tell you, it's fucking horrible. You're not just like placing your breast onto the thing and like smashing it. It's like ripping your breast out, smashing it, and then having you stay perfectly still in that position and doing that 8 different times for imaging. It's not fucking comfortable. I feel like it's an archaic imaging process that needs to be updated. So please, some brilliant woman out there, update and come up with a new way. Ultrasound, not as bad. It's actually not bad at all. It's not invasive. They're just wanding your breasts. So imaging places, they're basically like a country club locker room. You get into a robe, you sit there and wait. You have to be open with having everything out. So I get called. So this is how I found out truly that it was bad and I have breast cancer. And I found it out by the damn ultrasound tech. So homegirl calls my name. She asked me what I needed done, and I said, okay, well, I'm having an ultrasound. I hope you know that that's why I'm here. And she said, okay, well, you're so young. Don't worry that most of the time, everybody that she scanned that is young, it always ends up being a cyst. So don't worry. So in my head, I was thinking, girl, you are ballsy AF to say that to me, because what if it's not a cyst? I didn't say anything. I felt awkward. I was like lying there. Oh, you're lying there. Sorry if my armpit is hairy. Ignore it. With your tit out, and they like basically like wand, and you're in a dark room, and it takes about 45 minutes. So homegirl's like chatty Cathy, and then all of a sudden, while she's wanding, she stops and she becomes silent. So I was like, And then she asks me, how long have you had this? And I was like, how long have I had what? She's like, how long have you had this mass? And I was like, well, I felt it. I found it like 2 months ago, I believe, so, but I'm not sure how long I've had it. And she was like, because there's calcification. And I thought, okay, like I don't know what that means. And I don't remember what I said exactly, but I'm assuming that I said something like that, because she said, well, you don't see that unless the mass has been there for a longer period of time. So I was like, oh, sweet, okay, well, thanks fucking a lot, ultrasound tech, because clearly you don't think it's a cyst anymore, or else you would have said, oh, don't worry, girl, this is a cyst, like I said, like an idiot. So that is truly when I knew like I was fucked, basically. I knew it was not good. She became silent. She said that. She said I had calcification. I was just like, oh fuck. Get me the fuck out of here. I don't want to do this anymore. I mean, I just laid there in silence of just like in shock, because obviously I knew it was something bad. She's an ultrasound tech. She has done this hundreds of times. So yeah. So they told me to go get dressed. I went and got dressed. I came back, and the actual radiologist himself came back in and explained to me that I needed biopsies done, and that my imaging, his recommendation was biopsies. I also got an ultrasound of my lymph nodes, and he said that there are 2 masses, and there's a satellite mass, and I need to have biopsies done on those, and I need to have it done as soon as possible. And I really don't remember what I said. I just remember the room, and I just remember him like saying that to me, and I was thinking like, oh, just tell me, like, just tell me. But of course, they can't until you get the actual diagnostic biopsies done. But the most bizarre thing to me was that he was like, well, you said that you hadn't been feeling well lately, so that would probably explain your lymph nodes. And I said, well, what do you mean? And he said, well, we found a few lymph nodes that had cortex thickening. And he said, well, and it could be explained by if you had a cold, or if you've been sick. And he said, and so if you want, we can have your lymph nodes biopsy too. And I was like, if I want, like, bitch, like, you're the expert. Like, what? That was like the most bizarre thing. Like, if you want, we can get your lymph node biopsy. It's like, okay, you're being way too nonchalant about this. Like, I need to get the fuck out. I don't really remember. I was just like, okay. And I bolted. I thought it was the most bizarre thing that he was like, oh, if you want. So, okay. And then, so he gave me a score of BIRAD 4, which is a high suspicion for a malignant tumor. So I left, and I remember getting in the car and calling my mom, and I don't ever cry, but I just couldn't hold it in, and I finally was able to speak to her, and I said, Mom, like, it's bad. Like, I have breast cancer. I just know it. And the doctor and the radiologist was just like, oh, if you want to do this, it's no big deal. And I said, the CT tech, like, I saw it in her face. Like, she went from being chatty to dead silent. Like, her face totally changed. And for her to, like, say to me, how long have you had this? And there's calcification, and like, uh-oh. Like, I totally knew. And so that's when it started the whole process down of like, okay, I was like, I have breast cancer. I didn't actually say that out loud for a really long time. It was really hard to say out loud. But anyway, so my mom, of course, is calming me down and saying, don't worry, we're gonna get through this. Like, if it is something, you'll just have a double mastectomy, you'll get new boobs like you've always wanted, and it will be fine, don't worry. The next step is the biopsies, we'll get it done. So, and this was all before work, so I just stopped crying and went to work like nothing was wrong. So that was the next thing that happened. My next biopsy experience was not as bad. I mean, it's shitty and horrible, but it wasn't as bad. So, thanks. Happy 4th of July. Even though it's 4th of July, Black lives still matter. And I love you all.